You have seen so many movies out there about Coast Guards, correct?
I have. Yes,
Right?
Yeah.
Remember the one with Nicolas Cage? I can't remember the title of the movie and all that. But we have learned a lot about Coast Guards, not here in Malaysia. That's the problem. All the Coast Guards that are in America, so on and so forth, we know what they do to protect their country, to make sure that law and order is in place, so on and so forth. But we also have our very own Coast Guards ourselves.
Of course, yes.
Right? Formerly known as Coast Guards, but right now they changed their name to APMM or also MMEA, which is the Malaysian Maritime Agency, Enforcement Agency, and they are here with us as well in the studio. This particular person who is very special, and we just can't wait to talk to him. And also talking about MMEA, right? You know, they make sure that everything is okay, not just in the sea, at the sea, but the borders of the country as well. And we just want to say thank you to them. I think it's very important that we know them and we learn about them.
Yep, I think that we should be grateful that they are there protecting us when we are sleeping in our beds under our beautiful roofs and in our beautiful houses.
Thank you for making me guilty.
Yeah, no, of course, that's definitely the intention. But yeah, let's just all be grateful to them. And let's welcome our special guest today, Captain Abdul Rahmat Omar, who is an independent analyst into the studio, who is with us today, looking very, very happy and very, very smiley. How's your morning going, Captain?
Well, morning's been fine so far. I just need more coffee, that's all.
Okay. We all need more coffee.
But for some strange reason, on the show called Fresh Brew, we don't usually have coffee, but we'll get that right next time, Captain.
Exactly. So, Captain, very briefly,
Yeah.
could you please explain to us what do you do and what does your agency do? Who are those people from MMEA? Yeah.
Okay, the MMEA is actually an enforcement agency. What it does, it goes by its motto, which is to save, to guard, and to protect. Okay, so going by these three, what it does is it saves lives. Okay, doing search and rescue and stuff like that, and then we also do guarding our maritime sovereignty, and then of course we also protect not just our maritime sovereignty, but also the MMEA enforces Malaysian laws at sea. So that's what it does. And given that, it means that anything from the shore all the way out to the 200 nautical mile boundary is being guarded by the MMEA.
So, Captain, would you say that if, given the fact that if you have a sampan, okay, at sea, you know how to navigate yourself around?
Well, I'm supposed to, yes.
Fantastic, but I had to do that.
Yeah, you had to ask.
Because I'm actually very curious, because you just mentioned, right, Captain, that you guys safeguard the sea, to make sure that everybody's okay.
Correct.
Search and rescue operation, SAR, you guys are there. But how is it different as compared to the Navy or TUDM, because they are also at sea. But what's the difference right here?
Okay, the Navy and the Air Force, they are wartime agencies, okay? In the peacetime, what they do is they complement the MMEA. Okay, whenever we need them, then they complement. But we don't normally use them for enforcement activities because it's not their primary job to do so. They're supposed to prepare for war.
Right.
So what we have now is the MMEA going out to protect. So, for example, if we have intrusions by foreign vessels and all that, then MMEA will be the first agency to go out. So it's the frontline, foremost agency to protect the sovereignty of our nation.
At sea.
Yeah,
fantastic,
yes.
fantastic.
It looks like you guys are the main guy when talking about Malaysian waters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. And I wonder, is the enforcement of existing laws by the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency right now is sufficient to ensure the safety of traders and community passing by the waters?
Okay. We have, of course, we do our job according to the MMEA Act 2004. That is also supplemented by our Continental Shelf Act of 1966, as well as the UN Convention on the Law of Sea, okay, 1982. So with this, what we do is we enforce all the, as I said, we enforce all the Malaysian laws beyond our territorial waters, which is 12 nautical miles, all the way to 200 nautical miles. When you ask about whether it's sufficient or not, right now we get the assistance from all the other agencies. Okay, being a young agency, we do not have, sad to say, we do not have enough assets to go by.
Sure.
But you know, we are also thankful to the government for the recent budget where they announced the addition of 9 new generation patrol craft for the MMEA, and also fast interceptor craft that will be provided for to the MMEA soon. So with that, I think it will enhance our performance in safeguarding the maritime zones.
Right, right. So when it comes to not having sufficient items or aid, perhaps, there will be future aids being given to MMEA, right? So let's talk about collaborations right now.
Yeah.
So talking about collaborations, as a country with neighboring maritime areas, how does APMM collaborate with Maritime Enforcement Agency outside of the country to ensure safety here of our nation?
We have, you know, we conduct lots of exercises with outside agencies. For example, the Australian Border Force,
Right,
okay, where we try to stop, especially the trafficking of migrants and apa ni? The you know, how people get sold overseas and
Right,
stuff.
human trafficking.
Human trafficking. And then we also have understanding with Indonesia, with their 2 agencies, being Bakamla, which is their Coast Guard, and also the Basarnas, their search and rescue body. We also have cooperation with the Japanese, you know, Japan Coast Guard.
Right.
And up to a certain extent also with the US Coast Guard.
Right.
To not only to enhance our capability, but also in order to exchange notes and intelligence
Right.
with them, and them with us, of course, vice versa.
There's just so much happening in MMEA that we just don't know about, right?
Right.
Human trafficking,
Yeah.
unwanted vessels coming to our border, and illegal immigrants coming by sea. There's just so many things to talk about. And MMEA, unfortunately, they have to be at the forefront and to make sure that these cases are properly sorted out.
Yeah.
So maybe you can tell us some of the experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's take, for example, this year alone, the MMEA from January till early November, they have managed to stop, I think, about 74 attempts to bring in illegal immigrants.
Right.
So we managed to get like 277 illegal immigrants
Oh, God.
before they managed to you know, disperse and disappear within our community. Now, if you look at this 277, why I say it's important for MMEA to have all the necessary resources to do its job is because this 277 will be held, and you know, they will be having free food, for example, you know, on our expense. Okay. So let's take, for example, if we say that per person we spend like 40 ringgit per day per person. So that comes to about 4 million a month, just for this 277. So you imagine 4 million a month, you can actually vaccinate our young women, 6,000 of them, for the HPV virus vaccination.
Right, right.
So you imagine that kind of money should be used on our people instead of them. So
I wonder if there's any other experience regarding any hijacking or anything.
The MMEA has
the movie that comes to my mind is Captain Phillips right now. With Tom Hanks in it. I'm so sorry.
That's the
that will be my
Somalian
reference,
border,
Captain.
right?
Yes, Captain.
Okay, we have had hijacking experience. The Okim Harmony, MV Okim Harmony, which was hijacked several years ago, and MMEA was there. We were active in bringing back the hostages, and freeing the vessel. We have had incidents where, we've had run-ins with drug smugglers from neighboring countries. If you look in YouTube, you can find lots of examples of MMEA in action. Taken by either the personnel itself, or if you go to our Instagram, Malaysia Coast Guard. You can see lots of examples of how we do work.
Right.
The Malaysian's water is so vast. There are so many ways for people who have bad intentions to do their bidding. So it's good to know that the MMA is there.
Usually, for the past few years, if I'm not mistaken, a few years ago, we used to have issues with illegal immigrants coming to the borders via dinghy boats.
Yes.
And it's actually very dangerous at the end of the day, right? So, just catching them in that sense. It's not because you want to penalize them, but it's because it's dangerous. You just don't want to lose lives at sea, especially here in the border of Malaysia. So when it comes to MMEA, I hope we have videos showing MMEA in action right here on Fresh Brew, but then maybe we'll get to that later. So let's talk about methods, best methods for APMM to manage diplomatic issues involving the intrusion of foreign fishing boats, so on and so forth, and the role of MMEA with regards to this.
MMEA will first and foremost get information about any form of intrusion, especially if it's in the East Coast. Then we have fishing boats coming in, also in the Straits of Malacca, but Straits of Malacca not so much as in the South China Sea. We're talking about illegal fishing boats. That's more of cross-border crime, like I said, drug smuggling, smuggling of other contrabands from neighboring countries. How MMEA plays a role here is usually we will have our vessels out there, and we have to conduct arrests. We stop them and we have to bring them back for process, for detention, and of course to bring them to court for stealing our resources.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we lose like 6 billion a year
just for that.
Just for that, yeah. So that's a lot of money. That is why the MMEA has its hands full. But we're always out there, even if it's like right now monsoon season, we still have to be out there.
Yeah. And talking about monsoon season, it's about all search and rescue operations.
That's going to be horrible in this time. And you've talked a lot about collaborations with other agencies from outside the countries. But I wonder if that is enough. Is there any new strategies that can be proposed to MMEA to ensure the ongoing safety and prosperity of Malaysian waters?
What is most important, from my view right now, is for the public to understand the role of the MMEA and the public to understand its role in helping MMEA to conduct its operations better. So the public has to be the eyes and ears for the agencies. Like how we do it on land, that we are the eyes and ears for all the agencies on land, then it should be also for the MMEA. So if you see any boat that's not supposed to be there, or any acts that's not supposed to be done at sea, then best is you contact the nearest MMEA office. Also, I would like to emphasize here, especially because of monsoon season, if you need to go out fishing and stuff like that,
fantastic.
Please wear your life jacket. And if you have a personal locator beacon, it only costs like 1,000 plus. It's a lot less than your handphone. Just buy one. It will save your life definitely out there if you get into trouble.
Yeah. Search and rescue operation, Captain, that's where you're going towards, right? What are the common mistakes Malaysians do during this northeast monsoon, the transition phase, getting into the phase and out of the phase, that Malaysians do, unfortunately, that results in, that comes back to losing lives at waters and all that, especially when they go swimming, holiday fishing, so on and so forth. So what are the common mistakes they do here?
Okay, from my observation, first and foremost is people tend to think that it will never happen to me. Right? That's the first thing. And they keep pushing the limits.
Yeah.
So not wearing life jackets, not having a personal locator beacon, you don't inform people where you're going, you know, or when you're coming back. You know, sometimes it's, especially fishermen, those fishing enthusiasts, they do not want their wife to be waiting for them and stuff like that, you know.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry, wife.
so you have to inform people, you know, when to expect you back. You know, don't keep quiet, so that if you go missing, then it's easy, and we know where you're going and stuff like that. So you know, inform people around you, if possible, you know, and so that people know where to look for you in the first place. The sea is so vast, you know. If you look for a fishing trawler in monsoon, sometimes one wave can hide, you know, several boats behind it. You can't see.
It's like finding a needle in a haystack.
Oh yeah, actually, yes.
But I like that you mentioned something about a personal locator beacon. Can you talk to us a bit more about that?
Okay, the personal locator beacon is a personal thing which activates, you know, there's several ways of activation depending on the model that you buy.
Sure.
But what it does is it sends out a signal to a satellite. Okay, and this satellite will then beam to the nearest center which we have. You know, the APMM actually operates a center in Kuantan. So the signal is received there and then sent to the nearest APMM base, you know, and from there then we send out a boat to look for you.
Right. Okay, that one I didn't know.
Yeah, and how do you get that? That personal locator beacon.
You can buy. You can buy. It's even on Shopee.
Right.
You know,
okay.
Just make sure that you buy
Alright.
and you bring it to APMM and get it registered so that we know it's you.
Oh, we know. Okay, cool,
Right?
cool,
Okay,
cool.
okay, that's a very good
That's
thing to
actually
know.
a very
Yeah,
interesting
yeah.
thing. Personal locator beacon, right? Okay. Anyways, now APMM's got a new 6th director.
Yeah.
Yeah? Let's talk about his aspirations and inspirations. So, what does he hope and expect of MMEA and the country?
Okay. Of course, you know, it's a heavy task being the new DG because you have to make sure that your organization has what it needs in terms of manpower, in terms of assets and all that. So pitching to the government is going to be one heavy task. Okay, for him. I think his aspiration would be the same as any other DGs, which is that you know, for his men and women to do the best out there, to perform their best and put the country's importance, you know,
to continue putting the country's security importance forward. Yeah,
correct.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I wonder, as a member of the public, how can I help if I want to help MMEA, for example? How do I contact you guys, and what kind of like acts or something that is risky that I can see that I should report to you guys if I were at beach?
All this information are available on the social media, our social accounts. On Facebook, you can look for us, Agensi Penguatkuasa Maritime Malaysia. On YouTube, on Instagram, you know, which we update very often, and TikTok as well. Okay, we have a TikTok account, all right? So you can look for that, Malaysia Coast Guard. Just follow all the information are there. You can you know, find the numbers and the email addresses, and also I would also ask members of the public, especially the young ones, you know, if you don't want to join MMEA, but you want to be part of it, you know, you can always join the reserve.
Right.
Sure, of course.
Right.
We have a volunteer reserve.
Okay, awesome. Obviously, The details are all on the website, all on Facebook,
Yep.
MMEA. Just look them up if you want to taste what the sea is like all about. If you want to even experience it, go and join MMEA as a reserve if you don't want to do it full time, right?
Yes, of course. You can help protect the safety of our waters.
Yeah.
So, and we really, really appreciate you coming on the studio with us,
Thank you
Captain
so
Abdul
much.
Rahmat Omar. Please have a good rest of the day, and I hope we'll see you again.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
Inshallah,
Thank you so
okay.
much, sir, once again, for
Alright,
being on
thank
the
you
show.
so much, Brandon.